eye-opener. This is why I buy Bitcoin. With China's recent decision to de-dollarize amongst the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, or ASEAN, I thought it prudent to plan for the shift away from the United States dollar being the world's reserve currency. While so many American economists and financial news pundits will tell you that the world is not moving away from the dollar, their expert opinions should be taken with a grain of salt. After all, they're the same people for years who have said the economy was strong. Unless you're rich, or more recently super rich, you know their claims of financial strength sound more out of touch by the day. And now there are the BRICS countries, which are weaning themselves off of their dependence on the dollar. And now China is cutting the dollar out of trade with other countries that have partnered up to form the ASEAN collection of countries. No longer are some countries willing to be bullied by the United States dollar, which is only backed up by its military. You can't have the world's reserve currency and bully the world that uses it while sanctioning so many countries from using it for trade. Eventually, countries will seek to trade with other countries using a currency that isn't weaponized against them. This must be doubly so when the country threatening you with military intervention hasn't won a war since World War II. That's similar to the playground bully who gets beat up by the little kid every day. No one is going to feel threatened by that bully. Just as fewer countries feel threatened by the United States, which has lost wars in Vietnam, Iraq, Afghanistan, and Israel, currently failing to beat the Houthis or put down the opposition in Yemen. The American dollar is falling out of favor, but it is yet to be decided what currency will take its place. Which currency is backed by something of value? Now, given the experience that the world has had with the unipolarity of American control of the world's currency of reserve, what country will the world trust after the dollar's downfall? What asset will the world trust to back the next world's currency of reserve? There's gold, which used to back most currencies. Disclaimer: I invest in gold. It retains its value because it doesn't erode. It's hard to deflate the value of gold because of its scarcity. People trust gold to retain its value, so it has been trusted to back the value of currencies for a very long time. Gold is a good investment even at $3,000 an ounce because it will be worth $3,000 or more, maybe much more in the years and decades to come. The only real drawback is that the government can confiscate it like they did in the previous century. At that time, the U.S. government made it illegal to hold gold, which was valued at $25 an ounce. And once people handed over their gold, its value shot to $35 an ounce virtually overnight. Now, while both the price of gold and Bitcoin can and have been manipulated, Bitcoin can't be confiscated if you hold your own private keys to it. Now, the government can arrest you if Bitcoin is made illegal and it discovers that you hold Bitcoin, but it can't take it from you if you don't volunteer those keys to the government. With gold, however, they can raid your stash and physically take it. With the private keys of your Bitcoin wallet, you can go to another country where Bitcoin is legal tender and simply recreate the wallet that holds your Bitcoin. And given the fact that every country that can is trying to come up with its own central bank digital currency, which currency and what country will other countries trust? In my opinion, there is only one digital currency that all other countries will trust, and it's not going to be any of the centrally controlled ones. The one with the highest probability of garnering every country's trust will be Bitcoin, because while the price can be manipulated, the value cannot. One Bitcoin will always be worth one Bitcoin, which can't be said about any other currency, not even the central bank digital currencies, because each country will be able to control the amount pushed out and the expiration date of your savings, and they will be able to turn their currency off with the flip of a virtual switch. Now, for the main reason I buy Bitcoin, it is the only investment that could secure my future. Gold retains its value, but unless you can buy it by the pound, it won't secure your future. As for real estate, a house will take 30 years to secure your future unless the market collapses and the economy allows you to cover your mortgage, property taxes, and insurance on your current wage. Stocks are so overinflated that no one knows their true value. Besides that, 80 or 90% of all stocks are owned by 10 to 12% of the people. Unless you can insider trade like Congress seems to do, you're not getting rich from stocks. Bitcoin, on the other hand, has made both millionaires and billionaires out of average Americans. In America, 16 states, maybe more by now, are currently considering making Bitcoin legal tender. Outside of America, countries are doing the same as they realize their need to have a currency upon which other countries can come to a consensus as to which one can be trusted. Think about it. Is the American government ever going to trust a Chinese digital currency, or a Russian or Iranian or even an English or French digital currency? Given America's history of sanctions, what country would ever choose to trust America's digital currency? After all, America hasn't been the kindest steward of the world's economy for decades. The world will be forced to elevate Bitcoin, and it will compete to hold more Bitcoin than its allies and enemies. El Salvador has a major head start. And if you still doubt Bitcoin's value, look at who is buying it up on X. In that platform formerly known as Twitter, you can find an account called Unusual Whales. Unusual Whales tracks things like the stock trades of Congress people, so it's a good resource to see who is doing insider trading. It also tracks cryptocurrency trades. And while it can't tell you whose name is on any particular crypto wallet conducting any particular trade, what it can tell you is when and how much a particular wallet has purchased or sold, which in turn shows you that it is the ultra-wealthy who are buying up most of the Bitcoin as well as other cryptocurrencies these days. Why would the ultra-wealthy be buying up as much Bitcoin as they can? There are plenty of people reporting and complaining about our leaders and their failures. How many, however, are offering or even pointing to any solutions? The book, Solutions. Enough complaining. Let's Fix America by Chris Osman does and can be found on Amazon or at www.mikesonsentertainment.com. To find out other ways you're being screwed by your current leaders, check out the posts on this blog daily. Learn about the biggest and worst issues that America and its people face today. You can also check into this blog daily to hear about those issues that America and its people will face in the near and distant future. If, however, you would like to discover possible solutions to either mitigate the worst impacts of these issues or solutions to avoid them altogether, keep listening. The problems we face are not as complicated as so many leaders and news reports claim. They are man-made and are only claimed as complicated so those who are responsible can maintain control. For example, there is a persistent argument that moving government is like turning a cruise ship around. It is supposedly a long process that can only be achieved incrementally. While this may be true for laws and policies that benefit the majority of Americans, it does not seem to be so for that smallest of American minorities. When one examines the policies and laws that benefit that minority known as the elite or the rich, the speed at which those laws are passed is exponentially faster. While most of us sit on the deck chairs waiting for the Titanic to avoid the myriad of icebergs of which we seem to continually run afoul, the elite ride comfortably in speedboats. If, according to the Declaration of Independence, all men are created equal, why do the rich live quite different lives than the rest of us? Where is our speedboat? In 2018, Chris Osman wrote a book highlighting the problems humanity would face if more power, wealth, and control were funneled to a small group of individuals, groups, or organizations. In that book, Mr. Osman provides solutions, offered up from himself and others, to the inevitable problems we would all face. In it, he also provided a means for the public to analyze, compare, and contrast the words and deeds of those we've chosen to follow against our real-world experiences. To this end, Mr. Osman provides the means for readers to disseminate information as provided by their news sources of choice, their elected officials, and any other authority they choose to follow. The book, titled Solutions, Enough Complaining. Let's Fix America offers a means to hold leaders up not just to a higher standard than is currently accepted, but to one that will improve lives. If you don't invest in something that keeps pace with inflation, your money is losing value every day. Click the link below and get your copy of Solutions today.